what is the shadow? Why are we talking about the shadow? There's a lot of interest nowadays in looking into one's shadow, but there are a lot of different definitions of it, so I'd like to give my definition of it. It has to do with repressed parts of ourselves that we've had to hide away, put into the darkness. It's our shadow, we can't see it. So there are parts of us that we've had to repress, that we don't want to look at because they're painful, because they've come about through trauma experiences. So trauma, we all have trauma, from little traumas to big ones. But when we experience trauma, what happens is that we split. I like that example from quantum physics of scientists took a coherent beam of light, like a laser beam, and shone it towards a wall, and the beam had to split to go around the wall. But then as soon as possible after it got around the wall, it wanted to come back together again. So that's how our personalities are too. We go through these traumatic experiences and we split. But as soon as possible, as soon as we find a safe enough way to do it, we want to come back together again, to be more coherent, more whole. But when we split, what do we split into? We split into our persona, which is that part of us that we develop to function in the world, and we split downwards into our shadow. So let's think of an example. What if a child experiences sexual abuse, for example? It's a shocking event, and it deconstructs who they thought the other person was, who they thought they were, and a part of them has to go into being safe, and so maybe the perpetrator says to them, don't tell anybody. So they become nice, good girl, don't speak out about it, make everybody else happy. And then the part that goes down into the shadow is their voice, their scream, their knowing of themselves, their connection to their body. So that's an example of how the split takes place. So in that split situation, though, as I hold my hands like this, if the split kept going, the personality would disconnect more and more and more from being whole. So our deepest self is always looking for some situation in which we can tell our truth, because that's what needs to happen, is that the shadow needs to arise and the persona needs to deconstruct so that the self can come back together. So we're looking for a safe enough container.